also like to see if I can discuss a little bit about Adolescence, which is a show that's been getting quite a lot of conversation on the internet, particularly even though I'm quite late to the party, but I thought it'd be necessary to bring this up because particularly it is a show that's been garnering a lot of interest, not only through people who've been watching it on Netflix, and people who are sort of like Channel 4 heads who would have thought, oh, this would have been a perfect type of show. It reminds me a bit of Southcliffe. But it got Netflix to distribute it. And it's by Warp Films, who also done Four Lions and Tyrannosaur. It is a show about a young man, 13-year-old, who was convicted of murder because he was radicalized on the internet. And with everything that's going on right now, especially with more young men and boys going to sort of far-right circles because they feel like they're feeling some sort of grievance against the world, it's not too surprising, really. But it doesn't really give you the right to go ahead and start talking horrible and shit and threatening and raping women just because you feel grievance. I don't think that's going to help out anything at all. In fact, it's only going to make, as far as I'm concerned, the government and those who like to use the bully pulpit a lot stronger. And you'll be ending up in prison for the rest of your life for no reason. No good reason. Andrew Tate, Jordan Peterson, all these people are not your friends. They may give you like these 4 easy answers as to why your life is shit, but theirs isn't. If you follow by these sort of stuff like self-help gurus, everyone likes to see if they can follow the leader for. No, everyone does it, including some people on the left. But within the context of Adolescence on the show itself, which is worth its hype. If you haven't seen it already, you should. Not only for the cinematography aspect, but also the frank discussions and realism within the show itself makes for very compelling viewing, even at best quite difficult to watch just because it's a bit too real and disturbing, especially the first and the third episode, which involve, from the perspective of the young man who has been questioned by the social worker as to why he did what he did. And then on the first episode, where the family is all in shock at just what happened when the SWAT team enters inside their home. And with that being said, with regards to the Online Safety Act that has just passed as of late, everything you do or say can be tracked and traced. They have every reason to suspect you of something, and it's not funny. Be very careful who you're inviting and what you're looking at. It's like, don't give candy to strangers. Sorry, wrong country. Sweets. Don't take them from strangers. I'm sure the same rule applies on the Great World Wide Web. And even if you did impose bans of social media for those under 16 or under 18, under 14, it still will not solve the entire problem. Even with my co-host, who seems to be a bit more social media friendly than I am, for as far as I'm concerned, not only the algorithms and platforms don't help someone like myself, because I do all types of videos. I'm not consisting one person. I do everything sort of on a very low budget. I go there and I talk about controversial topics without fear of rejection and condemnation by the public, because they need to be said. And Adolescence does the very same thing, but it's within a dignified self as a mini-series. A very good one, worth the hype, if at best it feels like a public information film that somehow managed to be worked around as a mini-series for television that probably would have aired on Channel 4, but it ultimately was made for Netflix by Warp Films, who also not only did that, but also are the film division of the music label that also released Balls to Canada and Aphex Twin. So I've got some sort of personal attachment to Adolescence that others don't. Even the fact that they even say, on one particular scene, on episode 3, where the social worker's asking, so, you like, what types of films he likes, horror, and then she says, 15 certificate. Yeah, as long as I can get away with it and sneak in. They don't really check for that sort of thing at my cinema. That made me laugh. simply because of how random that came out. Also, because I'm a BBFC person, so there's a lot to love in that particular moment, even though it's an algorithmic 15 certificate. The TV show is, it wasn't pre-vetted officially, but I'm guessing during the auditing process it probably would pass that 15 anyways. There isn't much in the way of graphic violence except for CCTV footage of stabbings, as well as a very sustained sense of dread that's throughout it. That could have even passed even that PG or 12, but it's the language particularly that has caused the most alarm. To get it's 15, but for people who are listening, trying to reel everything back in, as far as I'm concerned, you're better off the internet than with it. I mean, people obviously need the internet to check for information, where they can get their applications to get them offers and send something out to their teacher or professor within time and pre-vet everything, watch the latest viral that your friend sent you of a cat flushing a toilet. But as far as I'm concerned, it's all brain rot. Much of it is. It's not really doing you any favours, and it's also making you kind of lazy. Too much convenience can also make you a bit, I should know. I have for a little bit of Netflix simply to watch this, as well as Happy Gilmore 2 and Fixed. Only for those 3 titles, really. Outside of that, I'm more than happy to cancel it because I don't really need it because it's going to make me go cuckoo. But a world probably without all this electronic convenience and people telling you in your ear, including like schoolmates who are trying to influence you in certain ways that are within your best interest, you're probably better off not doing with them. You're better off isolating yourself from the rest of the world. But even that can cause, of course, radicalization. And that's how they get a lot of these young men, is by getting them isolated to be radicalized. It's sad, really. Deeply, deeply sad. But when you have a broken economy and a nation of troubled youth who have nowhere to turn to, can't get jobs, can't get housing properly, everything's too expensive, what else are you going to turn your anger against? I mean, I'm even angry at all facets of society itself, the government, the media, everything in between. And if you think I'm only targeting those on the far right, like Trump and some of these reform people, I'm also happy to point the fingers at the centrists and even some people on the left as well. Keir Starmer's not doing you favours, but I'm happy to hear that he's going to try to find a way to show like this in many schools and institutions. I think this is very important on a sort of social work sort of standpoint. It get people talking, especially if you're mother or father of a child who is at risk. This might do you some favours. I do recommend Adolescence. So do catch it out. I know, overrated. Everyone's talking about it. Oh, it's so critical against men. It's misandrist. Well, I will let you think that, but sometimes you need your meat and your potatoes too. You'll thank me later as you get older. Speak soon. And stay aware of the world that's around you. And also, Online Safety Act didn't achieve what it's meant to be. Netanyahu for trying to conquer throughout Gaza and cities and getting settlers to kill Palestinians in the West Bank. Double shame on you. Anyone who travels to Israel like they would travel to Russia is complicit. Stay the hell away from me and stay the hell away from others. We don't want the trouble. Trump-Putin summit in Ukraine. Well, Trump-Putin summit in Alaska. It's all theatricals. It's all sort of all talk, no play. Take your anger against society itself. Not individuals on their lonesome who didn't do anything to you. Signing off.